Hello there, you're watching Bizworld. Malaysia has secured 148 billion ringgit in total trade and investment of 90.9 billion ringgit with Japan last year, despite global headwinds. International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmi Ali said the ratification of Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP) will also further spur local businesses with Japan.
Kerana RCEP mewakili 1/3 daripada global economy dan juga 1/3 dari segi populasi dunia. Dan dengan pasaran baru ini dan juga peluang-peluang untuk syarikat tempatan menikmati insentif-insentif baru, zero tariff.
He said this during the 39th Jamaica Joint Conference. Meanwhile, the minister said Malaysia's participation in the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework (IPEF) will enable it to address the problems faced by local companies. These include those that have been issued the withhold release orders by the United States Customs and Border Protection. The Inland Revenue Board (IRB) is actively developing comprehensive strategies in dealing with international tax compliance risks to ensure that multinationals pay the right taxes. Its Chief Executive Officer, Datuk Muhammad Nizam Sairi, said Malaysia is actively involved in the working group discussions to ensure the interests of developing economies such as Malaysia are not left out of the policies made by OECD.
Malaysia memang melibatkan diri secara aktif di dalam the working group discussions. Jadi ini untuk memastikan bahawa kepentingan negara atau ekonomi membangun seperti Malaysia ini tidak ketinggalan dalam OECD menentukan polisi lah. Mereka menyasarkan 2023, tapi kita lihatlah nanti sama ada the whole keseluruhan negara-negara sudah bersedia atau tidaklah. Tapi sekarang ini sasaran OECD adalah pada tahun hadapan.
He added that the Ministry of Finance is now considering the introduction of a qualified domestic minimum top-up tax under the Global Anti-Base Erosion Globe. To date, 136 nations have agreed on a comprehensive reform of the international tax system that will mandate a 15% minimum tax rate on multinational enterprises, MNEs, starting next year and reallocate more than $125 billion in profits from about 100 of the most profitable MNEs in the world to all nations. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Finance urges the private sector, including businesses and tax experts, to provide feedback on tax-related public consultation paper (PCP). The publication of the PCP complements the 2023 pre-budget statement, which was published on June 3rd. It is part of MOF's overall efforts to obtain feedback from the people and businesses on the government's policy proposals that will be considered for Budget 2023. MOF has published a Budget 2023 PCP titled The Implementation of Globe Rules in Malaysia in relation to Malaysia's involvement in the implementation of the Global Anti-Base Erosion Globe Model Rules Pillar 2 initiative. The ministry welcomes feedback on this PCP by August 15th. The outlook for the Malaysian banking sector remains bright, with expectations of robust earnings growth ahead. Hong Leong Investment Bank has maintained call for the banking sector, believing that the sector's risk-reward profile is skewed to the upside. In a research note, it said the sector's performance will be driven by robust earnings growth and undemanding valuations. As for net interest margin, the firm expects it to expand from the overnight policy rate hikes, but the magnitude may be capped by eventual downward normalization from the current account savings account mix. RHB Research also noted that despite the interest rate hike in May, loans recorded the highest monthly growth of 0.7% in June. Meanwhile, Kenanga Research said that although the OPR hikes might pressure household affordability, it might not be too detrimental to business loans. Foreign funds continued to flow into Malaysia for the second consecutive week as they net brought 152.9 million ringgit last week. According to MIDF research, foreign funds were net sellers only on Tuesday at 14 million ringgit prior to the US Federal Open Market Committee meeting. However, this was easily offset by the net inflows recorded in the 4 other trading days. The strongest net inflow from foreign funds was on Thursday at 50 million ringgit, which was during and after the meeting. The week started with a net inflow of 25 million ringgit on Monday by foreign investors and ended with a net inflow of 18 million ringgit on Friday. Local institutions maintained their net selling stance for the third week, coming at a rate of 70 million ringgit. That's all the time we have for Bizworld. I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and keep tuning in to TV3.